Hey, how's it going, everyone? What is up? Welcome back to another Dead by Daylight video. With all of the teases being sent forth, we have the teaser trailer and everything else now, and it seems like we're only waiting on the PTB at this point. I thought this was a good time to go back through everything we know about Chapter 21. Now, we're going to be covering every tease that came out. We're going to be talking about every theory that's, well, every popular theory, and I'm going to be telling you guys the speculated leaked date for the PTB, when we'll be seeing this chapter in its full glory. But before we get into it, I do have to ask you guys, if you are updated, informed, or entertained, please consider liking the video. And if you want more Dead by Daylight content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. It means a ton to me and it helps out a ton as well. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into it. Chapter 21 is, of course, the 21st chapter for Dead by Daylight. It has been leaked to be a licensed chapter and not even a chapter in itself. A lot of the leaks are saying that it is a paragraph, which means it will come with a killer and possibly a map, but no survivor. The PTB's leak date is also scheduled to be August 17th. We do know that this chapter's killer will come with one legendary skin and one purple skin. So now we move on to the teases. We need to start with the first tease that was released on August 9th, and that was this picture. And there's not much to this picture, but a letter right here, an S, and the Springtrap looking figure in the background. Now I'm going to keep this video as objective as possible and try to tell you guys the most popular opinion for each tease that we got. So in this picture, as I said, we have an S and we have the Springtrap in the background. But I do have to mention the Springtrap in the background could be an optical illusion. We're not entirely sure yet. The next picture that was released on August 9th as well, they dropped together on different Dead by Daylight accounts, is this one of the circus, the Father Campbell's Chapel map for the clown. And the main thing here is the eye up there at the top, the extra eye, and the ace sitting down here in the cage. Now the most popular thing about this is the letters. So far in both of these pictures we have extra letters laying around the map, whether it's in a word or whether it's just on the map. And then we have ace down here in a cage. Now when it comes to the letters, it feels like by this point they're trying to spell something out to us, and the ace in the cage really goes into that. We didn't know exactly what it meant. Some people were already speculating on Hellraiser with the trapped in a box, trapped in hell, the actual box that they have in the movie, and other people like myself were speculating on Springtrap with how the contraption actually works, and the character William Afton being stuck, basically being trapped inside the animatronic suit. Now the very next thing that we got was this A, and the caption for it was ah. There was like 7 A's in the caption. Now a lot of people were seeing things in the picture, we're seeing things behind the A in the actual background itself. I can't say that I've ever seen this, but there were people seeing Springtrap references, Five Nights at Freddy's references, and even some people seeing Hellraiser references. I never saw any of this, so I can't comment. The 7 A's was also speculated to be referencing the 7 dead souls of the children from the Five Nights at Freddy's story, but that was the most popular theory going around for this A, and again, it's another letter that plays further into spelling something out. Now the very next thing that we got was actually on August 10th as well. They were dropping 2 a day at this point, and it was RT. And under that, in the comments of the Twitter post itself from Dead by Daylight responding to their own tweet, it said, "Here, I did my part," and we got a picture of the perk red herring from Zarina. Now a lot of people speculated on what this meant. They speculated whether this could be 2 more letters to the equation to add to whatever was being spelt, and then there was the speculation that the red herring could play into that as well, saying that this post entirely was a red herring. A lot of people think that the red herring could still be in play. We're not entirely for sure, but a lot of people correlate the red herring with this post itself. And now we move on to August 11th, and the very first tease that released on August 11th was the fact that Dead by Daylight changed their actual Twitter picture. Now you couldn't tell what this was from the jump. If you just clicked on the circular picture on Twitter, you had to actually open it in a new tab and bring it fully up, and there was actually an R on there, adding more letters to the equation. So by this point, we had an I, an S, an A, and an R. And the second possible tease that we got on August 11th is possibly the Dead Dog Salon being closed for renovation. Now, people were seeing a ton of things around this map. I myself saw a few things. We see an out-of-place totem-looking thing here on the bottom left. We see a bear's face supposedly at the top left above the sea. Some people were seeing faces in the saloon itself and seeing faces even in the sky. Now, while some of these have been debunked, nobody really knows if anything on this picture was an actual tease or not. As Dead by Daylight said themselves in the comments, there is no letter here, you can rest. Now, that's not to say that there's nothing in the picture that can be taken as a tease or was meant to be as a tease. That's not saying that whatsoever, but we don't know for sure and won't know until the killer is actually released when it comes to this one. And the last tease we ended up getting on August 11th was another picture from Father Campbell's church, the clown's map once again. Looks like in a different location. Now we did get another letter, 2 letters in one day once again, and the letter E is in the background there. And also, another thing that we got was actually a nail on this bullseye board itself. Now, a lot of the teases up to this point were looking heavily in Springtrap's favor, but by this point, it really looked like it was going to be Pinhead, and that's when the Pinhead theory started to really take off. With the nail and the E, now we had the letters I, S, A, R, and E, which fit very well into Hellraiser. Now, that's not to say that any of this couldn't have been teasing Springtrap by this point, but the most popular theories were Hellraiser. But the theories for Springtrap were that the nail could be representing a spring lock itself that went on the animatronic suit, and that the E, all of the letters by this point, could be leading up to spelling I am still here, which was a popular phrase used to introduce the character in Five Nights at Freddy's 3. And the tease we ended up getting on August 12th, probably the most creative tease that Behaviors ever pulled out of their pocket, was a tease with the actual game music itself. So it wasn't very clear what they were doing, but they said notes ×4 on Twitter. Now, the DBD Japan was actually the Twitter account that released all the audio files on Twitter, and all of the audio files were available on Discord. But once you downloaded the audio files, ran them through a spectrogram in the correct order, you would get Hell, or if you flipped it the opposite way, which you had to flip it to get Hell, but if you left it in the correct order, it ended up saying 1987, which we'll come back to play here in just a minute. But almost immediately, that led people to confirm Pinhead as Hellraiser. Well, I mean, it has to do a lot with Hell, and as Pinhead himself is a Hell priest, so people were automatically assuming Hellraiser. But the Five Nights at Freddy's Springtrap's theories continued, as people did point out that William Afton, Springtrap himself, is burning in hell by the end of the 6th game, and that Hell plays a major part in the Five Nights at Freddy's story. And also, when it was not flipped, not reversed to say Hell, 1987 is also a major date in the Five Nights at Freddy's story, with the bite of 1987. And then came the 13th, the fated day of the teaser trailer, and we got this. Now, once again, almost immediately, people fled to the side of Hellraiser and Pinhead, pointing out that this TV is almost a carbon copy of the TV that we see in the very first Hellraiser movie. Also going further to point out that there are some images that do sprinkle along through the static in the TV, popping up every now and again, that can be directly correlated to an image that played in the Pinhead movie on that same TV. And along with all of that, the date 1987, which was the release date of the very first Hellraiser movie. So all theories were looking towards Pinhead, but there were actually a few Five Nights at Freddy's theories to go along with this. Now, that's not saying there was nothing to correlate to Springtrap or Five Nights at Freddy's here. There was actually quite a lot too. The big VHS player under the TV that does not appear in the Hellraiser movie. People were also seeing faces in the static and on the black screen at the end. While that can't be confirmed, I did see some of them myself, and I mean, in my view, they are there, but some people are saying that they can't see them whatsoever, and people are seeing things, which is a fair assumption. But the most confusing thing about it is the date 1987, which also plays back into the Hell tease, and the fact that the first Hellraiser movie released in 1987, but there's also a major event from the Five Nights at Freddy's story that takes place in 1987 that basically kicks the story off, from what I've been told. And there's really only one more thing to mention, and that is the leaked, big quotation marks there, file name for the actual teaser trailer itself, posted by DBD China, I'm assuming on the website Bilibili. Now, I'm not buying into this at all. They've messed up in the past, yes, but I don't think was as coordinated as Behavior and DBD have been throughout all their social medias across all the different languages. I don't think they'd mess up and screw the big reveal now. So, I mentioned the leak, but I don't buy the leak. I think this leak is just a classic fake leak, like a misdirect by DBD and Behavior themselves. But so far, that is everything we know about Chapter 21. There's nothing saying that they couldn't still do teases leading all the way up until the PTB on the 17th, but we'll just have to wait and see. If there is another tease today, you will see me again today breaking that down for everyone. I've had a hell of a time with all of these teases and this big reveal. It's been amazing, and the community that came in from that has been absolutely incredible. Thank you guys all so much for the loving support, and I hope you stick around for the daily content that we'll have after this. But that's going to do it for me. Thank you dudes so much for watching. My name is Tootin. I've been your host, and I'll see you dudes next time. Peace out.